Hello and welcome back. My name is Brandon Watson. Today in this video we're going to be moving away from those stupid support and resistance lines, crazy channels, and volume voodoo bars to focus on something a little bit different while still trying to answer the same old question, why can't Bngo sustain itself even with the good news? Now, if you've been following any of my Bngo videos or joined our free Discord already, you would have seen me talk about how Bngo is going to drop and shake people out near the 5.5 level before it ever has a chance of going back up. So far, this is just another prediction that has come true, as you can see that price dropped below 550 a share, hitting lows of 5.12 this past Monday before retracing back up to the resistance. Now, for whatever reason, a lot of new traders seem to think that Mondays are great days to buy a stock because people are eager and excited to trade after the weekend, which inevitably sends the price shooting up at the open. But what they don't realize is that Mondays are great for buying only due to the fact that usually Mondays and Tuesdays are the days that seem to set new lows for the week. Think about it. What's more logical? Price shooting up on Mondays due to overeager traders, or price collapsing even further to scare new traders who have been thinking about their sunk positions over the weekend? If you've answered both A and B, you're right. Though, be careful what you wish for, Bngo lovers. Things may have been easy on the way up as retailers climb on each other's backs to send the share price skyrocketing, but it won't be like that for the second round. Now, as a few firms start to pick up shares at these lower levels, you're going to be subjected to wild fluctuations. It's no longer retailers sitting around a nearly dead campfire singing Kumbaya songs, but now rather, bigger firms are starting to step in, and that means only one thing. They want their shares. Notice how this entire past week, share price immediately shoots up at the open, only to be dragged throughout the day back down to where price opened up at. Only 2 days last week saw price go up and sustain a higher level, which you'll notice that each had violent shakeouts at the open. Not at the end of the day, but at the open. This is due to the fact that many retailers are overeager to guess the bottom for Bngo as they continue to climb every morning on each other's backs, while the professionals sell their positions for a profit on the overextension. As the pros start to sell at these higher levels, retailers start to panic and also take their shares off the table, thus sending the price right back to where it came from. It isn't until the end of the day that professionals step onto the battlefield and look at all the dead bodies laying around, ready to scoop up the treasures retailers left behind for anyone to pocket for themselves. Then, once the shares are ripped from all the dead bodies and price starts to climb back up, these dead Bngo retailers somehow, as if by some sort of a miracle, start to come back to life while looking for any loose change in their pockets, which they can throw on in hopes that Bngo will start to cure them of their deadly losses. Which then repeats the cycle until the only ones left on the battlefield are the ones who stepped up last, while all the pawns went first. So what does this mean for Bngo? Well, let's look at the exponential moving averages to see what they can tell us. I, myself, like to use the 9, 25, minus 5 displaced, and 200 exponential moving averages. These act as indicators for who is or isn't holding on to shares at various levels. Think of the 9 EMA as short-term day traders, the 25 as medium-term swing traders, and the 200 as investors. Ideally, you want all three types of traders to be buying up Bngo so that price stays above these lines and heads higher. Though, as of right now, price keeps getting rejected by the 25 and barely holds the 9 EMA. The only true holders are the ones who bought at or below $5 per share, as they are the ones propping the price up above the 200. This, at first appearance, might seem like good news, but let's go a little further into the charts to see what the other timeframes tell us. But before we do, remember this. Anytime the share price is below the 200 EMA, along with the 9 and 25, the stock is considered to be in a downtrend. Anytime price sits above the 200, as well as above the other two EMAs, price is technically considered to be in an uptrend, and anything in between is consolidation. So stating that, let's move down one time frame at a time. First up, we have the 4-hour time frame, which shows that Bngo is in a downtrend. The 200 is well above the price and the other two EMA lines. Since the 4-hour time frame is still relatively hefty, I would do more than just place a grain of salt on it. Consider the fact that although the daily time frame is holding above the 200, the 4-hour still has a ton of work to do if it even wants to be considered consolidating, let alone be categorized as trending up. Also take note that anytime price creates a larger than normal wick on the top end, Bngo has fallen back and below the 9 and 25 EMA, thus getting rejected and pushed further down. And vice versa when price creates a larger than normal wick on the bottom of the candle. So as of right now, the 4-hour is in a downtrend. Moving on to the 1-hour, this looks a little better, but not by much. This being a smaller time frame compared to the 4-hour and daily charts, I wouldn't place too much faith on this until the share price, 9 and 25, are all holding and building above the 200. To build up and consolidate above the 200 is extremely important because, as you can see, without any price buildup, you have nothing to sustain you higher, which then brings price right back to where it came from. So, for the 1-hour, Bngo is in a downtrend and got rejected even with supposedly good news. Well, you could say that all stocks went down on Thursday thanks to Biden, but you'd be wrong in thinking that. Yes, a lot of stocks tumbled on Thursday, but it wasn't until later in the day before they started to fall, whereas Bngo hyped itself up at the open and immediately collapsed before Biden ever started talking later in the day. Now, I don't know about your other positions, but mine were doing well up until that point. None of them just collapsed on good news the way that Bngo did, which is somewhat troubling. So let's move on to the 30-minute, which if you haven't caught on by now is a weaker time frame than the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily time frames. This is a swing trader's time frame, much like the 1, 2, and 5 minutes are day trader time frames. These are lesser important time frames for you Bngo lovers, as all these people do are go in and out with their small profits and losses each day and week. They don't care about Bngo, they only want the easy money. What happens once they leave Bngo each day is none of their business. It's only the ones left holding the bags who really matter, as they are the ones who will continue to hold the price higher, if at all. Bngo as a day trader and swing trader is a dream. Each day these people come in, buy the pump, and sell the dump. Easy money when emotions are higher in Bngo than most other stocks. Because remember, these pros play off your emotions. They don't read 10K reports and wonder where to make their money. They know exactly where to get it from, and it's from all the new retailers literally handing over all their stimulus and unemployment money they got from COVID last year. Which means what? Well, it means Bngo needs more investors than the ones who bought $110,000 worth just the other day. That $110,000 equates to only 0% of their total allocations, which is absolutely nothing. If BioNano doesn't get these investors, then all these stock twits and YouTube loyalists are certainly going to get a lot more than what they wished for. Going back to the 4 hour, you can see that Bngo has a ton of work to do in order to be considered in an uptrend, let alone consolidating. Even worse yet is that although the 200 EMA is a solid area to look at, not even NNDM held the 200 before coming back up. But don't get NNDM and Bngo confused. NNDM actually has investors, and real ones, with real shares, not just $110,000 worth. $110,000 is the equivalent of a new retailer who got lucky with the Reddit GameStop move and decided to throw their uneducated money into something else. They're basically a nobody with their 20,000 shares in a sea of 33 million shares traded on average. So if you found any of the information in this video helpful, I certainly appreciate everybody's feedback. I have a link in the description below if you'd like to come and join us in our free Discord, and I hope you all take care and have a great weekend.